Hi, everybody. I do apologize for being a couple minutes late. My bad, my bad. Welcome, everybody. I'm letting those notifications go out. We definitely have an interesting lineup today. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. And I'm going to hit this intro so we can get going, and it gives me some time to share this stream. Hit the like button. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hold up. Wait a minute. Bruh. Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits. Drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, big chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits. Drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposed in the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring cults. Exploring. Researching. Debunking. Investigating. Being nosy. Super nosy. Being messy. Being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me. The chick with ADHD. Unmedicated. But quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Hi, happy Monday, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Let's go. We have such an interesting lineup today. I see Christine. I see Cooch. Shout out to Coochie Cooch 420. Thank you for being here. Nebulous is in the house. Storm is in the house. Jazzy Jazz. Tamara, welcome, welcome. Who else did I see? Chrissy B. Let's see. Evil Queen, how are you, my love? Shout out to you. Desert, how are you? Rotten. Hey, wait a minute. You changed your name, girl. Rotten Banana? Why Rotten Banana? Shout out to you, my love. I'm like, you changed your name. Christy, how are you? Zoe, welcome. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Marissa, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. The coffee's brewing. Y'all, I haven't even had coffee yet. I wish I could tell you that this is like a natural, but it's not. I had an energy drink. That's what I had. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Stay Spiria, how are you? Happy Monday. Rihanna, yes, we're going to talk about a little bit about Gabby Petito as well. But I'll definitely let you guys know when we get there to that part. Katie Cat, how are you? Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. I'm so sorry. Please address the emergency situation. It's okay. It's okay to watch the replay. Shout out to you, Katie, and I hope you're doing okay. Olson, at work, but we'll be on the... Okay, Olson, don't get fired. I am not responsible. Let me tell you, if you got to start listening to me at work, please put your headphones on. Please put your headphones on, because I am not responsible for firings, for layoffs, for all that. For the boss heard me while you were saying the FUCKABC words. Like, I'm not responsible for that. I'm sorry. I do not take responsibility about what comes out of my mouth sometimes. Jamie, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Nebulous, how are you? All right, I think everybody's here for the most part. I am not responsible. You're at work too, Aries. Get your headphones, okay? I don't want to hear it. Hey, Sherelle, how are you? Hey, Jenny G, how are you? You did? Yo, we shall not discuss. Whatever happens at Festival stays at Fire Festival, y'all. We don't talk about Fire Festival. It's done. If you weren't there, then you didn't get to go, and I'm sorry. Okay, who else is in the house? I think I saw Mel. Did I see Mel? Hey Mel, how are you? Hey Court, welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Chaos has been a member for 21 months. Thank you, Chaos, for your support. Shout out to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. For supporting my channel, my love. Thank you, thank you. Shout out to you. Longtime member over here. Thank you, Chaos. I'm always watching at work. I'm hooked, says Christine. I just don't want y'all to get in trouble if you're watching me from work, if you know what I mean, you know? Let's see. Yeah. We don't even know. Well, Rabs, you did us big last night with the tunes and the jello shots. Shh. Moving on. All right. Moving on. Leisurely, welcome. Shout out to you. Y'all are crazy. Surf and Sunshine, welcome. No notification from YT. Damn it, YT. Why do you do me like that? What am I supposed to do? YT does too much. Hey, Jane, how are you? Thank you for being here. Yes, we had a lot of gifters. So if you've been gifted, just keep in mind, shout out to them. All kinds of gifters. So I couldn't even tell you who gifted. Jazzy says, well, good that I'm my own boss. I usually listen to Rabbit. Okay, good. To say, really? I center you down? To center down? I do that to you? Girl. That's weird that I have the ability to do that. I've never heard anybody say that, but I'll take that as a compliment. Maggie, finally, Maggie, the notifications work well for Maggie. So there's that. I'm giving people some time to get in here because we have a lot of stuff to get into. YTB trifling. Yes, they don't like me sometimes. Sometimes they don't really like me. And now let me send this out again one more time. And y'all hit the like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We live now. I'm sending it out just in case. I hope you guys are doing well on this. Is it Monday? It is Monday, right? On this fine Monday morning. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. If not, I hope it gets better. Shout out to you guys. All right, guys, we have a big lineup. Hey, Paige, how are you? We have a big lineup. We have a lot to review today. A couple things that are happening. So Diddy's insane. Are they going to plea or make an insanity plea in this little Rico situation? That's the question of the hour. Diddy's insane. The other news, we knew that. That's new. Well, I mean, is it beneficial that he's insane though? I'm just saying, like, I know we're all like, well, yeah, we know that he's insane, but is he so insane that he doesn't know what he's doing? That is the question that I have to wonder. Is he so insane that he doesn't know what he's doing? Okay. So let me do a little poll. I am here for Diddy News. Okay. Diddy News. And then we have Virginia. Oh man, this stuff is starting to intensify with Virginia Giuffre, guys. We got to talk about Virginia Giuffre. And then we have to talk about Kim K, the suspect in the heist dies. And the trial is like this week. Yeah. And then Brian Laundrie's family is sick in the head. So we're going to talk about them too. But I want you guys to vote. What are you here for? What are you here for? Hit the like button. Now hold up. Do I got somebody here? Brady Moon, thank you so much for being a member for 5 months. Can't stay long at work. Phone's almost dead, but loves you. Love you too, Brady Moon. Thank you for being here. Shout out to y'all. Let me know what you guys think. You say he's sane enough to act insane. He's insane in the midbrain. Yep, but he's insane in the midbrain. Is he insane in the midbrain? So insane, he's got no brain. He can't stand trial. That is the question of the hour. All right. So hold up. Okay, I'm looking at the poll. All right. I love how Kim K has 0 votes. Y'all are like, right, we don't give a crap about that woman. Why are we talking about a Kim K? I can't with Kim K. Where's our attorneys? I don't know. Everybody's it's a Monday. Everybody's working. No one cares about her. I know everybody. Okay, wait. Somebody did vote. 3%. So I'm looking at the votes. Hit the like button, guys, please, and thank you. I appreciate it. 36 votes. Let's see if we can get to 40 votes. Make sure you guys are voting. See if we can get to 40 votes, please, and then we'll kind of see where we go from there. Give me an idea of how the lineup is going to look, okay? Possibly the biggest narcissist ever. Does that make you insane? I don't know. If he's diagnosed, I guess we'll see. I don't know. The pity Kim K vote. I know the Kim K vote is so low. She's not very popular. 3% sounds like a sympathy vote for Kim, just saying. Y'all, I don't even know. He knew exactly what he was doing. Look at y'all. Look at y'all. Y'all are really getting into it. Speaking of, okay, I'm waiting for one more vote. Oh, everybody's voting now. Thank you. The Karen Reed trial. Oh my God. So I'm telling you, that is such a polarizing case. Shout out to all the creators that cover that case because that is an intense case. I remember last summer, I tried to dip my feet in there. I said, "Oh hell no, bitch! I'm out of this bitch. I can't do that because it's just so crazy. All the in betweens. You either believe that this woman is innocent or you believe that she's guilty, and there's like no in between, right? And so for me, I'm like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for the jury. But see, I waited for the jury last summer, and then we saw the outcome, and now here we are in 2025. Are we gonna get a verdict this time? Are we going to get a verdict this time? That is the question that I have for the Karen Reed situation. Will we be getting a verdict? Because I literally don't know what they're going to come up with at this point. Literally. Let me know. I don't even remember what happened to Karen. Karen is the woman that's they charge her with the murder of her boyfriend who was a Boston cop. You're on Karen's side. Let me tell you, there's some crazy ass shit happening in that whole Boston police situation right there. So I'm kind of there with you, Paige, but I don't even want to I want to hear what the verdict is going to be, y'all. I don't even want to report it. I want to hear what it's going to be because I've literally been on pins and needles about that. That case is bananas. Okay. I don't know. I think they set her up. I'm here for Rabbit. Well, thank you, Tabby. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Emma. Shout out to you. Okay. Let's get it together, guys. Let's get it together. All right. So that was that. Now let me look at the poll so we get a good idea. All right. So Kim is boring. Bye, Kim. We'll probably talk about her here in the middle of something or whatever. But let's go ahead and get into Brian Laundrie. All right. We're going to start right there. So for those that don't know, Gabby Petito's mom did an interview with a podcast by the name of The Squeeze. The Squeeze. My mic just went out. Hold up. Here it is. Okay. 1 2 1 2. All right, I'm back. It's the movie where he's a werewolf and the girl, the guy is a vampire, and the girl has to pick between the two. This guy, what is the name of that movie? Y'all remember? Let me know. What is the name of that movie? Anyways, so the guy runs a podcast now, right? Yes, Twilight. Thank you, H. I'm like, damn, those movies. I'm sorry, I never watched them. I know that there was like a teenage thing going on, right? Like this was like the teenager movie saga of the century, for these kids. They would watch the Twilight. Okay. Well, the guy that plays the werewolf has a podcast with his wife, and it's called The Squeeze. They interviewed Gabby Petito's mom. Okay. And listen to what Gabby Petito's mom had to say.
Mother Nicole Schmidt just made a shocking admission. Nicole is publicly stating she does not believe Brian Laundrie killed himself and instead was murdered by one or both of his parents. So last week, Nicole was on a podcast called The Squeeze, which is hosted by everyone's favorite werewolf, Taylor Lautner, and his wife, Tay Dome. When the three were talking about how completely unhelpful the Laundries were throughout the entire investigation, Nicole says that Roberta is, quote, a sociopath of some sort. She then says this about Brian.
I don't think he killed himself. I think either his father did or she did.
Why do you think one of the parents would want to have killed him?
Better than going to jail or facing what you did. I don't find it implausible. I think that it's very possible that they did something.
Nicole also revealed something that she says she just learned 2 weeks ago. She claims that while Brian was missing / dead in the Carlton Reserve, there was a guest inside the Laundrie house. And that guest said that while Brian was in the Carlton Reserve, his parents, Christopher and Roberta Laundrie, completely renovated his bedroom, cleaned everything out of it. Tell me that's not bizarre if he's just missing. Gabby Petito's
let that sit in. Okay. So first of all, I do not like the Gabby Petito case is one that is really disturbing. I remember when it played out, I remember talking about the Gabby Petito case. I remember seeing a bunch of channels talk about the Gabby Petito case and just feeling the utter frustration of like, the not knowing, and then also watching the body cam footage from the officers that pulled her over and them not knowing how to act or do or how to treat that situation. They were just horrible. It was a preventable crime. They could have helped out this woman. They didn't know how. They were trying to charge her. You know, they were trying to separate them because they were seeing her as the aggressor. Like there was just so many different factors, and it just pisses me off. It pisses me off. It pisses me off for the officers, but also the way in which they treated that whole thing, right? When this went down, I think it literally made everybody just so confused about everything that was going on. And Brian Laundrie's mom has always been, there was that one letter, the burn letter, that has always been so creepy in the sense of like, lady's an attorney, okay? I think that she is the kind of woman, in my opinion, that she would have done anything and everything for her son, okay? I have a feeling that the Laundries knew exactly everything what had happened, everything. Okay. And that's why they were very cruel to Gabby's parents. They were very cold towards them because they knew exactly what their son did. It wouldn't surprise me if, rather than to see their son go to jail, if they just helped him end his existence. And don't forget that it wasn't just it wasn't just the Petito family. It was Brian Laundrie's sister. Y'all remember Brian Laundrie's sister? Brian Laundrie's sister, she was I'll never forget the interviews that she did because she was also iced out of the family too. She was also not given information. She was trying to talk. She would talk to the media and she had to be very careful. And people were accusing her of a bunch of shit. She's like, yo, I have nothing to do with this. I don't even know what's going on. And I don't know what it is. I know that there's this thing and, mothers specifically, like if you have your sons, shout out to all my mamacitas. If you guys got your boys, think about it this way. There's this closeness that you have with I have boys, you have a closeness with your kids, right? With both of, regardless of what sex, but with boys, I think that, there is for moms, there's a level of like being overprotective a little bit and, making sure that, they're with the right girl type of situation and all this other stuff, right? I feel like they iced her out. They iced the daughter out and just focused on Brian Laundrie. And I felt so bad for her because she probably didn't even know anything that was going on. Let me replay this one more time for those because I see people that are coming in. So again, Nicole Smith did an interview with The Squeeze, okay, The Squeeze podcast, and basically revealed, and it's an interesting interview. I suggest you guys go watch it. She revealed some things. I have not watched the documentary that they have on Netflix because it's disturbing, okay? And I feel like I would be very upset if I watch it. Like I said, it pisses me off when I hear about this case. I know the details of the case. I don't want to watch the documentary. And then I heard that they had like an AI version of Gabby, I can't do that. I don't know what it is, guys. I know that there's like AI versions of like people that go missing and they have them talk, or they like they've been murdered and they have them talk on this AI thing. I don't like that. I don't know what I just feel like it's just off. Have y'all ever felt that? Like if you've ever scrolled to TikTok and you're watching, they have like AI generated people that like have died of horrific crimes or they're missing, and they're somehow animated to talk about their case, and it's like it looks like them, it's them, the picture, but it's AI. It's disturbing. I don't like that at all. Like that gives me nightmares, actually. Don't like that.
Mother, Nicole Schmidt, just made a shocking admission. Nicole is publicly stating she does not believe Brian Laundrie killed himself and instead was murdered by one or both of his parents. So last week, Nicole was on a podcast called The Squeeze, which is hosted by everyone's favorite werewolf, Taylor Lautner, and his wife, Tay Dome. When the three were talking about how completely unhelpful the Laundries were throughout the entire investigation, Nicole says that Roberta is, quote, a sociopath of some sort. She then says this about Brian.
I don't think he killed himself. I think either his father did or she did.
Why do you think one of the parents would want to have killed him?
Better than going to jail or facing what you did. I don't find it implausible. I think that it's very possible that they did something.
Nicole also revealed something that she says she just learned 2 weeks ago. She claims that while Brian was missing / dead in the Carlton Reserve, there was a guest inside the Laundrie house. And that guest said that while Brian was in the Carlton Reserve, his parents, Christopher and Roberta Laundrie, completely renovated his bedroom, cleaned everything out of it. Tell me that's not bizarre if he's just missing. Gabby Petito.
Yeah, very bizarre. And I don't know, like this is the sad part is that they can't be charged, right? I think the most they'll get is like a misdemeanor or something like that. That's what I heard. So there really isn't a whole lot that Gabby's parents can do about the Laundries, honestly. It's a sad situation. I think that they had a lot to do with they knew what happened to Gabby, and in my opinion, it sounds like they might have had something to do with Brian's death as well. And she gets into Brian's death as well. She talks a little bit about people's conspiracy theories about making like that he didn't die or something like that. No, she addresses that in this podcast, and she says, no, he died. He was only missing 2 bones out of his body, and that's because of the elements like animals and stuff like that. But he had been out there. He decomposed fairly quickly because of the swampy area. Brian Laundrie did, but they confirmed that he died of suicide. But there are people out there that don't believe it. Listen, I don't think it's about what we believe. As long as the Petitos are at peace with their beliefs, I think that's what matters at the end of the day. But honestly, I personally think that the Laundries had something to do with this too. They didn't want to go through a trial situation. And clearly, Brian probably wasn't doing too well. Maybe he was threatening to end his life, and they figured out how to do it, for him. I don't know. I don't like this whole situation is just horrific in general. She says, Nicole Schmidt said that you don't see any remorse from the mother. You see all the remorse from Brian Laundrie's father. That's when they've gone to court and everything. And they found out so many other things at court as it pertains to this whole situation. That's how I feel. I feel like there's just so much here that we will never understand, and there's probably information that we don't know. And they never found the mattress from the van. There's a lot of things that do not make sense. I know the family purchased the van, right? They purchased the van, but one thing that we have to understand is this whole thing when she said, as she said on the lady said on TikTok, they renovated the room as if they knew that he was gone. Like he wasn't, like they completely renovated the room. So getting rid of things and when your kid is like dealing with this, he's not around, you're renovating the room. It's weird. You said, no, that's weird. Who the fuck is renovating when your child is missing? That doesn't make sense. If my child is missing, I'm surely not going to be doing any remodeling, especially their bedroom. 4 times the mess. I agree. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I think that, rather than go through the scrutiny, best to help their son commit S, right? Or have a hand in something. But will we ever know the truth? That's the question that I have. Will we? There's a lot of things that we don't know, that the in-betweens is that what we don't know, right? So Gabby Petito's mom claims Brian Laundrie's room was gutted soon after he went missing. All his things were gone. So again, this is the podcast. I said, guys, go watch it. I mean, you'll be surprised the new information that you get. If you haven't watched the movie, which I haven't, from Netflix, for my own mental health, this is interesting. This interview was really interesting. The parents of murdered Brian Laundrie allegedly gutted and renovated their son's room while he was missing. As Gabby Petito loved ones were still searching for the missing 22-year-old, her mother claimed. Nicole Schmidt sat down with Taylor Lautner and his wife, Tay. He's Taylor and she's Tay, on their podcast, The Squeeze, this week to discuss her daughter's story. And she recently came across the stunning claim against the Laundries. I actually just found out some new information a few days ago. So this is what she said there. I actually don't know their name, which is better, that was at the house. I guess there was a person at the house. She doesn't know the person's name when Brian was missing. And I would say he was hiding. He wasn't missing, but he was actually dead. But his room was completely gutted and renovated. None of the things were there anymore. It was gone. Why did the Laundries gut and renovate the room? That is the question that I would like to know. If you don't got nothing to hide, why are you doing that? Let me know. Who renovates? I know too many people with missing children, that even children that have passed away, that don't renovate their rooms. They don't do that. Even children that have passed, I mean, I'm telling you, like, they'll keep the room the same way. Usually it's kept the same way. So why they do that? Why they do that, right? That's interesting. Getting rid of evidence, knowing that he wasn't going to come back, or like what exactly? And the thing is that we'll never truly understand. Like, one of the things that I've always had question is, like, what made Brian Laundrie snap? Like, what made him snap? What history? This is one thing I didn't even look into, because I feel like there wasn't a whole lot that was done to even deep dive this situation, what made him snap? What did he have a past? Did he see TV in his home? Did he see something? Was it, how people tend to blame video games, which I'm like, it's stupid, but something like, where did he get this? Where did all this come from? So I don't understand. Like, where was this abnormal behavior from? It is, right? It's like so weird. Erasing his memory and everything. So weird. So weird. I don't get it. And yeah, I guess I don't know. So she claimed that the week her daughter was missing, cops were going to their house to try to get, I guess, a scent from their dog to look for Brian. All his things were gone. That would have been a red marker for me. Wait a minute. So Brian is missing. Where are they going to go to get a scent? The home where he lives, right? So they couldn't pick up a scent there. What do they do? Oh, we're gonna ask. We got to find some clothes. We got to find something. We got to find something of Brian Laundrie. Like, how is this dog gonna pick up his scent? It doesn't make sense. And that wasn't a red flag for the cops? I don't know. The room was completely empty, just gone. The unidentified individual who claimed to have been in the house during that time told Schmidt that it was obvious something was wrong with Brian's mother, Roberta. They said that there was something wrong with that mother. She's clearly not mentally well. And I'm like, that just adds it to the list, because I didn't even know about that. Schmidt said it drives her absolutely insane when she tries to think of any way to make them pay for what they did. And that's the thing, is that what can she do? They really can't. There's nothing that the Petitos can do civilly. There's that. But what charges can they get? I was thinking in my mind, I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, obstruction of justice, right? Can't they? I mean, this is Florida. Can't y'all be arresting people for everything? Can't y'all arrest them for obstruction of justice? Because if your son is missing and they're looking for his clothes and you got rid of his clothes, then you clearly know something that a lot of us didn't know. Aiding and abetting? Yes, Marissa, they like renovate. It was like, I don't get it. How do you not? I mean, y'all, like, this is Florida. I'll be arresting people for everything. Okay? Huh? It doesn't make sense. And I kind of wonder too. This is just my opinion because a lady was like a former attorney. Don't quote me. I think was she a former prosecutor? She was a former something in government. Okay, hold up. I don't want to make this up. Her name is Roberta. I want to say Roberta Laundrie. Let's see. What does she do? Um, I don't even know. I don't have time to look for this, but I'm pretty sure that she was like a former something. Yeah, concealment of a crime or something, right? Obstruction. I see people arrested for that all the time. Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like obstruction of justice. Something, right? So this doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. Why? What is it about this? What happened here? Okay, so Roberta is suspected of helping her son sneak away while law enforcement zeroed in on him as a key suspect in the Petito murder in 2021. His parents also refused to cooperate with authorities and give any information about their son's whereabouts. Schmidt took the stage at CrimeCon 2024 in Nashville, Tennessee in June and said she forgave her daughter's killer for what he did. Y'all, shout out to her because I don't know if I could. You know what I mean? Like that is wow. I speak for myself here when I say, Brian, I forgive you. I needed to release myself from the chains of anger and bitterness, and I refuse to let your despicable act define the rest of my life. However, as for Roberta, Schmidt believes that she has no remorse in your heart. That's what she said, no remorse in your heart. As for you, Roberta, and I call you out individually because you are evidently the mastermind that shattered your family and minds with your evil ways. I see no empathy in your eyes, no remorse in your heart, and no willingness to take responsibility for your actions. So Petito family believes that the Laundries were aware their son had murdered their daughter and allegedly tried to hide the sinister act while helping him evade justice after he had returned home by himself from a trip the two had been on. Both of the Laundrie parents acknowledged in depositions that they had concerns about Petito's welfare after their son seemed erratic in phone calls shortly after her murder. Did they? Okay. My son is erratic. He's on a road trip with his girlfriend. Majority of the phone calls. Why the fuck wouldn't I have called 911? Go get a wellness check. Go do something. Well, let's figure this out. Okay? And there was a lot of red flags. This crime did not need to happen. I think this is what makes me so mad about this. Okay? You're right, Infamous. You're right. Completely understand. You said, okay, question. When they went looking for Brian, had they already found the girlfriend? Maybe they just maybe those parents couldn't bear to look at their murdered son's belongings. Just a theory. Maggie, the problem with this theory, though, honestly, is that this implies two things. It implies that they knew that she was murdered by Brian, or that he had killed himself, right? Like them removing the stuff from the room implies a lot to me. Unless he's moving out, why the hell would you renovate a room, right? And even then, I don't know. Did they say, well, we're gonna go in the room and clean it, and then there was Gabby Petito stuff in there too, and so they decided, well, we're gonna bag everything because they found a bag of her belongings in the room. So I don't know. Like, I think this implies two things, right? That either they knew that she died or that he died. And so then they said, we're going to clean out the room. Different things here that I think are applicable. Nobody, in my opinion, at least from what I've seen, okay? Yes, this is, I don't know about this yet. I think they deny that they knew. No, you're fine, Maggie. They denied that they knew anything. But I think they knew. I think that that's what the Petitos believe. They deny that they knew anything. However, they acknowledge that there was some concerns in the trip that was happening, that Brian was calling the Laundries about what was happening, and then he came home, he had already killed her. Okay, so that's the thing. So some people, they're arguing that they didn't know anything. The other side of this argument is that they knew everything and they had to figure it out. And please keep in mind that the person that was in the dark here was Brian's sister. She had no idea. They like iced her out. I don't think she lived with them. Brian's sister had a whole different family. She was out on her own. I think she was like with her husband at the time, because I remember that there were protesters sitting outside the house waiting for her to come out and talk. And she was just like, y'all, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. So yes, as well. So there was a lot of items that Gabby left behind. And so they wanted to store everything, but it's all about behavior. Who does this thing when your kid is missing? When there's like a manhunt for your kid? Who decides we are going to gut and renovate a room when your kid is missing? That doesn't make any sense. Nothing. Yes, because they didn't want to see and they hid and don't want to feel. Avoidance, literally no one, unless you're hiding something, unless you had something. The only time I've ever heard somebody gutting a room or hiding or putting things away of a child, and let's be very clear, this is an adult child, right? Putting away of somebody who's like there's a manhunt going on, is somebody who had something to do with the crime. Honestly, that's what it is. There's no other way, in my opinion, to really put it in any other words other than that. No other ways. Yeah, so I recommend y'all go watch it, and let me know if you watch it, let me know what you guys think, because it's a very interesting interview. Like I said, I haven't watched the Gabby Petito doc because I don't know, like I feel like my mental health would not be very well afterwards. And I don't want to be all kind of, I want to be very careful and guarded about that. The Gabby Petito case really messes with me because it's like it makes me so mad. It was a avoidable crime. It didn't need to happen, and people could have reached out to her in so many different ways, and they didn't. I hate it. I hated what happened. I hate it, and I still think about it, and I hate it. But welcome everybody for those that are coming through. They knew everything. He came home with the van and no Gabby. Parents calling, no response from them. They knew everything. I'm not buying the bullshit. And Brian's mom is a lawyer. Okay. She knows how this shit works. She knows it. The lady, she understands it. She knew how to move. She knew what she was doing. In my opinion, I think that she had a deeper hand in this. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say about that. All right, guys, moving on. Whew, sorry, y'all. I get so mad every time I talk about Gabby Petito. I hate it. I hate talking about it because it makes me upset. All right, guys. Let's talk about Virginia Giuffre. All right, so Virginia Giuffre's attorney did an interview, all right? And said some things that I'm a little concerned, okay? And for the record, at least my opinion only, I don't know. I don't believe this woman committed S. I don't have enough information to feel that that's what happened. And I think that leaves room for a lot of speculation. You guys are entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. I'm really, 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 I've been thinking a lot about this all weekend, actually. And I'm glad last night, we had our Fire Fest, and that was kind of nice because it helped me kind of like, hang out with my supporters and stuff like that. But this had been bothering me. It'd been bothering me all weekend. The news, we heard it on Friday. And it's bothersome. Okay. Very concerning news. So Wim, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, y'all. If you've been blessed by Wim, put some confettis or some hearts in the chat. Yeah, that was fun, Didi. That emotional detox was fun. I was feeling thank you, Maggie. I appreciate you for that. Yeah. Storm's like, Shh, Rabbit, what happens at Firefest stays at Firefest. Okay. All right. Sorry, y'all. But it was fun. Because y'all like really helped me decompress a little bit. And I appreciate everybody. So there was an interview that the Sun did with the lawyer, Virginia Giuffre's lawyer. She had just hired this lawyer in the new year, right? So let's get into this article. And guys, let me know what you guys think in the chat. We're still waiting for more information, of course, but where I personally stand, I don't believe this woman committed suicide. I don't know. I don't feel like that is the case. We live in a society where we like, the media in certain aspects. If we're trying to get rid of somebody, you gotta be smart, right? At least that's what it seems like. People made this woman out to be a liar when I don't think she is. I don't think this woman lied. But she had her haters and she had a target on her back. And she lived alone in a farm. Okay. I don't know if she chose to live that way, but like, was anybody checking on her? We have a lot of questions about what actually happened here. Okay. So let's get into this. Virginia's plans. Mystery details of Virginia Giuffre's positive last days before suicide as Epstein victim planned for future. I don't like to put like suicides, like people typically do this in a suicide because like I feel like that's not necessarily the case, right? People don't always write notes on a suicide. People don't always say goodbye. People don't always act a certain way. Sometimes it just depends on what is going on and what can happen, right? So I always kind of keep that in mind. But this specific Virginia was talking about renovating her home. She had conversations, she had plans, she had meetings, she had things that were going on, right? So, yeah, I'm a little confused by this. I'm going to see if we could play the interview here. Hold up. Because there's so many damn ads. Hold up. Let's see.
The remote farm north of Perth where Virginia Giuffre's tormented life came to an end on Friday night, an ending that few close to her had expected. Police raced through these gates just behind me after the alarm was raised and found Prince Andrew's sex abuse accuser unresponsive inside the house beyond. They remained here for up to 12 hours collecting evidence before Virginia's body was removed ahead of further tests. Today, amid intense secrecy over the circumstances, there were the very first signs that perhaps not all is as it seems. Her lawyer and friend, Carrie Loudon, speaking to me at the house earlier, said there were big question marks over the tragedy. She distanced herself from a statement issued by Virginia's heartbroken family, who had broken the news of her suicide at the weekend. She suggested instead that Virginia, who was in constant physical pain, had taken an overdose, but stopped short of calling it a suicide.
Okay. This is her farm house, all right? Gated farmhouse, all right? She living there by herself. She distanced herself from the family's statement. Family saying, well, she committed suicide. Maybe she took too many pills. I don't know. Maybe it was an accidental situation. I'm not really sure. Okay. But just letting you guys know.
Was it an accidental death, she said? Misadventure. Virginia, she went on, was looking forward to the future. She had plans to renovate the house, and there were no signs she intended to take her own life. And apparently, she left no note. And whilst the police investigation led by a major crime team continues apace, the coroner has confirmed its own probe. But it could be some time before we know any of the answers, perhaps even up to 1, maybe 2 years.
There it is. So
Caitlin and the family has access.
Let's stop right here. Cops found her unresponsive at a remote farmhouse. All right. And this was Friday night. This is the lawyer that was working with her to get her legal affairs. Okay. And she's a new lawyer. So her name is Carrie, is it London, who has represented Virginia since the New Year, said that the mom of 3 was in a lot of pain, but was looking forward to her future plans. She was looking forward to her future plans. She told the Sun that she, Virginia, wanted to renovate this house and all sorts of things like that. There were plans that she had for the future. She's wanting to renovate her house, and she had all kinds of plans. All right. I'm not buying it. I'm not. Listen, maybe I could be completely off in this. She's got 3 children, and I think the youngest one is, there's 2 of them that are teenage age, and one of them is like an adult age already. So they're not little kids, and they weren't with her. She had gone through this very contentious separation. There were allegations of DV from her previous partner husband. And so she tried to, there have been restraining orders in the past that I read that she had, filed and stuff like that. So it's a very contentious thing. And it's my understanding is that he was using, this is what was being alleged, all right? He was using the kids against her, right? Even though the kids are not little kids, they're older kids, but he was using the kids against her. And the brother, what bothers me is after the bus accident, the brother and the representative and the brother's sister, the brother's wife, I'm going to have to pull that up, People's article, because I know I read it. He said that there was a mistake in the way in which the bus accident happened. Okay? There was a mistake in the way in which the bus accident was reported. So what I concluded when all of that was said, and I'm going to have to pull this article, what I concluded was that she might have been a victim, like that last picture of her in the hospital. I don't know if that was from a bus accident or if that was from somebody beating her. Because it does look more like the more you look into that picture, she's got bruising, and it doesn't look like recent bruising, guys. It looks like bruising that had already happened. The accident happened like 2 days prior. So the accident was minor based on what law enforcement said. There were no injuries. This is what they said publicly. They investigated it because what was posted on IG was that this bus came at them and basically that she was dying of renal failure. She only had a couple days to live. That's what she said. So it made us question, well, is she lying? Like, what's going on? And who would lie about things like that? And what is happening? Well, it sounds like she was doing okay. She was healing, but that post was meant to go to a private group. So then Virginia's representatives and everybody else kind of did an interview, and they talked about this a little bit more. And basically said, that she was a victim and there's other things going on behind the scenes, and they really couldn't get into everything. It just doesn't make sense. No. Virginia's brother talked about how Virginia had filed restraining orders against her ex, not the brother. There was somebody else in that interview. I'll have to pull it just so I'm not confusing myself too. Give me 1 second. See if I could pull it up right now. Because I know we did this article. I want to say it was like 3 months ago. No, excuse me, not 3 months ago. This all happened in April. All of this happened in April. We're still in April, right? All of this happened in April. And I'm going to have to go back to my old videos because we did talk about it then. Now, hold up. Let me see. See, this is why it's like none of this makes sense whatsoever. None of it makes sense. See, the last video that we did before the news was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. The last time we talked about before the news. Okay? Because there was the Russell Brand news. I'm going to see if I can share this tab, and I'm going to see if I can go straight to the article. There was this article. Here it is. Is this it? Here it is. Yeah, there it is. Virginia. Jeffrey Epstein accused of Virginia Giuffre leaves hospital after crash. Why brother says the accident saved her life. This article. So let me find the article right now, because this article was very interesting. This was after she left the hospital. And it said some interesting things that I think might shed some light to some of the questions that we might have now. Leaves hospital after crash. Why brother says accident saved her life. Let's pull that right now. This article right here. Yeah, April 7th. That's when this article was published. Here we go. Brother said that this accident saved her life. Okay. This was published April 7th. This is the article that I read on that video. And it said that Virginia has alleged that her husband, Robert, has physically abused her. This was published April 7th, after she left the hospital. When we looked at this, we said, oh my God, well, that makes sense because it doesn't look like a buzz type of injury. I mean, I'm not an expert, but this looks like somebody beat her, right? That's what this looks like. Virginia Giuffre recently posted a picture of her bruised face on, let's put those ads away, Instagram, saying that she had been in a road accident and was told she had 4 days to live. Okay. Giuffre has alleged that she had been abused by her husband of 22 years, Robert. Giuffre has said that she was a sex abuse victim of Epstein and Prince Andrew. Epstein died by, we already know, in jail. And Andrew has denied the allegations, even though he settled out of court and then donated to a foundation of her choosing. He can deny everything else, but he made an apology to her, a public apology to her. I love how People doesn't include this in here. So Jeffrey Epstein, accused of Virginia, was released from the hospital on Monday, April 7th, a week after saying she was near death following a vehicle accident with the bus. So she was released. The rep didn't provide any additional information about her health. Okay. On Sunday, March 30th, Virginia said on Instagram that she had been in the hospital and near death after the car in which she was riding in on March 24th was struck by a bus that was going 49 miles per hour. And so she was telling people that she was dying of kidney renal failure. Okay. And this is her picture. And we looked at it and we said, man, like this bus accident, there was no media talking about this. There was nothing talking about this. But to me, she looked like she had been beat, right? And so then a lot of us were like, well, like she's wearing jewelry. She's in a hospital bed. You could tell she's on a hospital bed. There was a lot of questions about this picture that everybody had, okay? While she was in the hospital, she came forward with allegations of abuse against her husband of 22 years, Robert Giuffre. So in the hospital, she made allegations. And we asked the question, well, did Robert do this to her? Or did somebody else? Right. They didn't look like they were recent from an accident. It's a lot of questions. Okay. So in an exclusive statement to People, Virginia said, I was able to fight back against Maxwell and Epstein, who abused and trafficked me, but I was unable to escape the DV in my marriage until recently. After my husband's latest physical assault, I can no longer stay silent. This was the statement that she made on April 7th to People. So she gets assaulted. She's in the hospital. Then she dies, 2 weeks later? Does any of that make sense? Does any of that make sense? How do you go from being at the hospital, okay, to then you get released and then you die 2 weeks later? She lives in a remote farmhouse, y'all. Remote farmhouse. All by herself. Okay? Does she have any security there? I don't know. This is a woman who, by proxy, has a target on her back. Okay? She does. She doesn't get the same protection as, a lot of these, you would think that people would be making sure she's okay, protecting her and everything. No. She's in a farm by herself. It doesn't make sense. 2 weeks before this situation, she gets released from a hospital and she makes a statement and then accuses her ex-husband of DV. We're looking at these pictures and a lot of us are saying, the bruising looks old. It doesn't, if this was a bus accident and now renal failure, like there would be more news stories. Police is reporting, or at least saying, hey, y'all, the injuries were minor. She gets released from the hospital. She gives a statement, accuses her husband, and then 2 weeks later, she dies. And then they're calling it a suicide. The family is. The attorney is like getting herself away from this. It's like, she was in a lot of pain. Maybe she took a lot of pills. We don't know if it was suicide. Maybe she took too many pills. I don't really know. Or maybe it was something else because nobody was there and they're in there investigating for 12 hours in her residence. And the cops are not done, by the way. The investigation is not over. But let's be very real. This woman had a target on her back. Do you understand who she was taking down and who she probably could still have been able to take down? Trump gets he gets stopped at the New Jersey airport. How do you feel about Virginia Giuffre? Oh, it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. And he moves on. It's a horrible thing. It's a horrible. That's all we're going to give her. It's a horrible thing. That's it. None of this shit makes sense to me. None of it makes sense to me. So I could see this in different ways. Maybe she took something and it was too much of something, right? Or maybe it wasn't that. Maybe somebody else did this to her. Okay? Maxwell's appeals had already been, I think, denied, exhausted. Don't get me wrong. I think that was the last that I heard in November of last year, right? That's what I heard. This woman wasn't liked by a lot of people. You had the Lady Lizard Face, for example, who, by the way, she's been very quiet. She's been a lady. Mm-hmm. She's been keeping it cute because she's on mute. All right. Lady Lizard Face hasn't said anything else. She got some backlash. Oh, I'm sorry. I probably won't be commenting on, Virginia. She's a mother and she left 3 kids. Bitch, you've been wishing for this woman's death. I don't know for how long. I don't know for how long. None of this makes sense. None of it makes sense. Right, Christine. What was he going to say? What was he going to say? Thank you. She was isolated, unprotected, and a recovering victim of abuse, but still making future plans. Doesn't that make you just question a little bit more? Just a simple fact that she was isolated, unprotected. Come on now, guys. That doesn't make sense. All right. People that make the explosive allegations that by the way, because she brought down a lot, it's a lot of people that were very angry at Virginia. Okay. They will forever have a target on their back. Any whistleblower like that, or any person that's exposing things like that, will forever have a target on their back. Forever. Okay. She had no protection. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, and I think about that. I'm like, man, if I was Virginia, would I have been as outspoken as she was, I don't know if I could. I would be scared for my life. The other victims, there's a lot of them out there. And there's, by the way, doing some research on this, there's hundreds of Epstein victims, by the way, some of which have not been publicly identified because they're scared. And I don't blame them. There's hundreds. Okay. I don't blame them for not coming out, for not sitting down and doing a BBC, NBC interview. I don't blame them whatsoever. I don't believe that she did this to herself. But of course, we're gonna wait. V, that would be Wim. Dom, shout out to Wim. I don't know. Some people believe that because she did say that people had access to her IG. I don't think it's a tinfoil conspiracy theory there. I honestly don't think you're in. I'm sorry. I don't feel like you are in any tinfoil thing, because I think that Virginia had people that were posting things for her. She said so herself, that she didn't mean to post this here. It wasn't her. It was meant to be on another group. So I don't think that you would be offered. That's even tinfoil, Sabrina. Honestly, I think that it's very, very. It's it could be a thing that did happen. Anything is possible. They're still investigating. But like I said, this woman had a target on her back. Like, and I think we need to accept that. And so then I find this People article on April 7th very perplexing, that she dies 2 weeks later. Okay. She died 2 weeks later. And she's accusing her husband of having something to do with her here, of abusing her. Okay. And then let me keep reading. It says, from the statements, I think the last incident that they had, she almost died. This is Amanda says about the alleged January 9th beating this year. And we had to speak that truth with her on the phone. And I think she had acknowledged that if she had one more instance with them, she wasn't going to make it out of there. The last time Robert allegedly beat Virginia was on January 9th, which left her with a cracked sternum and a perforated eye, among other injuries. She was transported to the hospital for her injuries. This is what a spokesperson said. Okay. His attorney told People in an email, unfortunately, as the issues you raise are before the courts of Australia, both he and anyone associated with the case, including Ms. Giuffre or her agents, are prohibited from discussing or utilizing the media. Therefore, no comment. He's not saying my client didn't do that. My client is innocent. She lied. He's not saying that. He's just saying, listen, we can't talk about that. It's an ongoing case. January 9th was the last time that it's alleged that he put his hands on her. Sky and Amanda note, okay, that they don't know whether Virginia's medical issues have been caused by the crash, a recent beating she's allegedly suffered, or a combination of the two. Let's be clear, she never stated in the bus accident that the cause of all her other injuries, says Sky. But I do think that the bus crash in some way, shape, or form saved her life. It could have been a blessing in disguise. Okay. Adding that he doesn't know specifically what happened intentionally to her. And Otto claims adjuster says Virginia's bruising is consistent with a car crash. So this is her ex. Okay. This is what People posted. So, and this is an article where brother and brother's wife or girlfriend gave a statement together. And this is where the restraining order comes from January 9th on that side, but not from the brother, just so people are aware. Edie, thank you so much for the $4.99. They need to investigate the husband. I think hospital photos was from the January domestic violence incident. That's quite the beating, right? Like, my goodness. That's horrible. They need to investigate the husband. Thank you so much for the $4.99, Edie. Appreciate it. How is a child who is being abused and groomed truly 100% responsible? This is what I need explained. What do you mean? How is a child who's being abused and groomed truly 100% responsible? I don't know, Randall girl. When did they say that? Maybe I missed that. Let me know. It must be rhetorical, right? Let me see. What did the husband get paid to offer? Ooh, Paige. Allegedly. That's the stuff that, are we ever really going to know the truth of the matter? Are we ever really going to know what happened to this woman? Because I just don't know if we are. Be honest with you, it just seems, everything seems so off from this situation, honestly. I don't know. It's a great question. But I think that article is important to read. I want to know people thinking behind the victim blame game. There's a lot, I think, that people, I don't know. We could definitely do a long live on that, because I think it can go a little bit different ways. Because when I first heard this, I know a lot of us had our doubts about different things. We had a lot of questions. So I think to a certain degree, I think that a lot of us were trying to figure out, well, what happened? Oh, person commented here. I see. Well, I missed that comment. Dang it. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. It sounds like the lawyer is not really buying the situation. And she wanted to renovate. She was renovating. She says she wanted to renovate this house and all sorts of things like that. There were plans that she had for the future. The lawyer revealed when she spoke about the 41-year-old days before her death, and even had been due to meet her on the day she found her unresponsive. So she was due to meet her. I had spoken to her the days before. I was meant to be up here today, right now, having a meeting with her so we could sort out some legal affairs. I was here this time last week and things were positive. So, but in a scathing blast at the authorities, Carrie said that she was left reeling, claiming police failed to even confirm Virginia's death. She said, I am a defense lawyer, so I don't like to speculate about things. I like beyond a reasonable doubt. Until the evidence is in, we're just, drawing conclusions. Officially, the police told me nothing. They didn't even confirm that she was dead. That's how little information the police have provided to me. She added that there has been a complete shock to all of us. If any of us had thought that she was going to commit of course, we would have taken more steps, put her in a clinic, or got her some help. When I got the phone call, I was like, are you joking? Because there's no signs that that was something she was considering. And that is what we have so far. No signs that she was considered. She was having, I don't know, meetings. A lot of things. I don't know, man. None of this makes sense to me whatsoever. So, I mean, we're kind of left there. Hopefully we'll get more information, but honestly, I don't know if we will. All right, guys, we have to move on. We have to talk about Diddy. So, I found this at Diddy Doc. Could Diddy plead insanity plea? Is there an insanity plea? In the matter of the U.S. versus Combs, the defendant diminished capacity to form the mens rea requires to commit the charge of offense enters the chat. To commit required to commit the charges offense enter the chat. So the government respectfully submits a memorandum of law in support of a motion to preclude the opinion statement of Dr. Ellie. The notice testimony related to the defendant's diminished capacity to form the mens rea required to commit the charge offenses. In other words, mental conditions bearing on issues of guilt. Are they going to evaluate him to figure out if he's guilty? Am I hearing this correct? Listen, I am not a lawyer at all. Okay. And I definitely don't play one on YouTube, but What I'm listening, what I'm understanding here, I feel like, are we hearing that Diddy could say he's insane and he's pleading insanity? Let me know, because I'm not an expert, but it's giving that. It's giving like he's going to plead something else. Yeah, they will evaluate him on the diminished capacity, not guilt. Not guilty? I don't know. I'm gonna tell you, I'm confused by this. Christine, I said this, huh? What now? Say what? Enter the insanity plea? Enter the insanity plea? Incompetence? Too incompetent to face trial? Right. Don't forget the erasing of the numbers and everything on the weapons. You know, I don't know. They're going to evaluate him regarding guilt. They won't evaluate him regarding guilt. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Rule 12.2 of whether the defendant intends to introduce expert testimony relating to mental disease, defect, or other conditions bearing on the issue of whether the defendant and the mental state required of the offense charges. The government requests such notice within the time allowed by the court for the filing of the pretrial motions by February 17, 2025. Okay. The defendant provides no such notice. He did not examine the defendant. So this is the Diddy docket, by the way. Shout out to the Diddy docket. So the defendant's diminish capacity to form the mens rea required to commit the charge offenses enters the chat. Now let me see what people are saying. I mean, what do y'all think? Are they gonna raise an issue here? You said, I don't think insanity plea will fly. He won't be allowed to do that. Just my opinion. Christine, I hope not, right? I hope not. If that's the case, will he survive on the outside? He's too insane to survive on the outside. I'm too insane to know everything that I'm doing. That's what basically I'm hearing. It's like, I don't know. I didn't mean to. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't me type of situation. Is that what I'm hearing? I don't know. You said when you try to cover up a crime, you know you've done something wrong and therefore cannot plead insanity. These people, like, I don't know, man. I was thinking about this. I said, I know some of you guys are following the Luigi Mangione, but what if he pleads insanity? I don't know. I don't know if he can now. Not the Shaggy plea. Yes. I don't know. I wasn't there because I got high. That type of situation. You said, did he try to be Shaggy? You know, this is like, I'm like, huh? Really? Yeah. I guess we'll see. What comes out of there. I'm kind of curious. I know BJ will do a video because you know she's gonna break this down. I'm like, BJ is probably gonna break this down for us because she'll explain it a lot better. It wasn't me. It wasn't Diddy. Y'all are getting Diddy mixed up. Okay, maybe it was Kim Kardashian. I don't know. Let's talk about. Oh my God. So one of the guys. All right, let's move on, y'all, because I can't. And this one is the 3% of less votes. The key suspect in the Kim K 10 million Paris robbery dies suddenly, taking secrets of heist to his grave. So the man died. He was like 72 years old. Marcel Gittner, 72, was said to be the super fence working with the gang that held the reality TV star at gunpoint in Paris in 2016 and had recently had death threats from gangland sources. So he was responsible for finding buyers for the American prized possessions, including 4 million engagement ring that has never been recovered. So yeah, okay. I know like there's like a black market for things like this. There's like if a celebrity, for example, let me throw this out here, like Liam Payne, his Rolex watch has never been recovered, which I think would lead us to exactly what happened to Liam Payne. What do people do with this stuff? Like, do they I don't. Do they keep it hidden? Do they like what do you do with items like this? Like, do you sell it to other people underground and stuff like that? Um, I don't know. So apparently there's a ring that has never been recovered. So they're due to go on trial today, actually, alongside with 10 other accused of a variety of charges linked to the robbery and kidnap of Kim K by organized gang. So I don't know if Kim Kardashian is going to be flying down to Paris or whatever to do all this and deal with this. Apparently she got robbed because she was too flashy. That's what I heard. I mean, she was walking around with like all of this grill. Like, girl, look at this. And this is in her Kanye West era because she was with Kanye West around this time. This is the guy that died. Um, she feared she would die during the ordeal, shouting, "Don't kill me. I have babies." That's what she said. And his name was on the defendant's list for the trial, and he was very enthusiastic about clearing his name in court. This was until he died suddenly on the 10th. I don't know how to say that, of Paris, March 6th. He was suspected of liaisoning with the mafia gang from across the world over the Kardashian jewelry, and criminals are known to have issued threats against him following widespread publicity connected to the case. Girl, it's too much. You know, Kim's Paris robbery was a setup by Chris for a reality TV show. You know, she's known for setting things up for, reality TV. We talked about that. Sex tape much? Ask Kris Jenner. Did she manage the whole thing? Did she get the whole production crew to go, manage the whole thing? You said that's a cute grill. That's a cute grill though. I don't think people use grills anymore. You know? Back in the day, it was like the thing to have. I don't know, man. Okay. Let me be. Can I be real? Can I be a person? Let me be a person. Well, first of all, I am a person. All right. It is very difficult to feel bad for the likes of Kim Kardashian. I'm sure that situation was very traumatic. Like the bitch learned, hey, listen, you got all this money. You don't need to flaunt it. Just cool it. There's some places you just don't go. You don't be like I wouldn't even wear a smart watch, a Fitbit. You just don't. You don't. Okay, you just don't do all that. And I'm not saying that she deserved it because I don't think anybody deserves to have a gun pointed at them or anything. I don't like her. I don't like her. I don't like her. But it's unfortunate that happened to her. But at the same time, I wonder if it was did the mama stage this? Because I don't know. Because these are the women that will do anything for a reality TV show or a reality TV moment. And back then, I mean, she was already with Kanye. I think she had already had her kids or whatever. So I mean, there's that. I'm sorry. You said guilt. Oh my God. I don't know, man. The insurance money is a dangerous drug. Well, I mean, just don't go flashy. Like you just got to be careful. You know, I don't believe anything. I don't believe anything that comes out of these people's mouth. You right, girl. I don't. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. Yeah, that's what I got to say about that. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for being here. You guys are amazing. I'll be live maybe later today. Depends. Kind of, I got some stuff going on later. But y'all are amazing. I'll see you guys on the next one. And let me shout out some folks. Thank you guys so much for your support. Chaos, Brady Moon, Wim, thank you. Edie, did you give me? Oh my God, Edie, thank you. I missed this one. Is the husband the same guy that she met while on vacation with Epstein and Maxwell and ran away with him? Oh, you're talking about Virginia's husband? I don't know if it's the same guy. I don't even know. I'll have to do some more homework. I want to do a longer format video about this because that way I can lay out my thought processes behind the interviews and stuff like that, the things she was saying. I honestly think that if I organize myself in a longer format video, I'll be able to answer this question a little bit more and other questions that I have. I feel like Virginia, if you watch her interviews, she was very telling. She was telling us a lot of things that maybe some of us weren't even listening to, if you know what I mean. I'm going to do a longer format video on this. Same guy? Same guy? Girl. That's the guy. See, Justice said it's the guy. Okay. We gonna do a longer format video, and hopefully let me just, I'm not done with my research. I gotta do more research on this. Okay. All right, guys, hit the like button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.